I'm here to tell you that even if you can only make a short backswing, you can get great power and very consistent shots. Now, I am also going to give you a couple of bonus tips to enable you to give a little bit more freedom to your backswing, because it isn't just about force and effort. We want this to be easy on the body. So whether you are a senior golfer and you're looking for a free-flowing golf swing, or if you're perhaps just someone who isn't as agile or flexible, we can give you the simple movements to get back and through the ball that are going to give you the shots that you're after. And of course, this is simple golf, where we make it so much easier. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, my friends, I'm Alex Forte, and this is the Art of Simple Golf, where we're, breaking through the confusion of the principles that you think you must have to be able to play good golf. There's so much information out there. There's so much, tips, lessons telling you to be in these certain positions. There is a place for them, but they are not always right for you. So you're watching this video because perhaps you're made to think that you have to have a longer backswing, or perhaps you are frustrated with having a short backswing and you want to do better with it. There is good news, because we can do that. So I'm actually going to give you kind of a boost of confidence, right? There's something that most people don't give credit for. A shorter backswing, if done right, is really going to give you the consistency that most people who are trying to get longer backswings are after, because it depends how you go about it. Because one of the things that people mistake is thinking a longer backswing has to be, big arm turn or something like this, where we kind of get out of sync, or we pull the arms across the body trying to kind of get the club back, but all that's happened is we've kind of lost out of plane and the club does something like this, right? We don't want that. The benefit of having a shorter backswing is it will help you concentrate on just allowing everything to turn and the arms to follow the turn. You don't have to have tons of mobility or strength to be able to do this, but a simple drill we can do is just put the hand over the left chest like this, okay? Just put the hand over the left chest, and we're then going to turn and rotate. And what we're trying to not do is allow the arms to sort of pass over the body. So if I keep the chest here and then I'm turning, it's kind of noticeable that we're kind of off plane and we're in a very weak position here. And this is where a short backswing is crap. This is where we're going to struggle, because that's where we're having to force it through. And the kind of swings that we're going to get are something like this. We pull it across and we swing through, and there's not much oomph to it, right? We need it a bit easier than that. So what do we do instead? If that little checkpoint isn't working for you and you're realizing that as you make this turn, we want to keep the left arm kind of pushing out. Pushing out. So if I show you from this way, this little camera here, I'll show you that we don't want it coming across with this minimal sort of turn with this chest, with the zipper. We want to keep the chest in front, the arm in front of the chest this way, and we can get a very nice, consistent backswing. And that is essentially it. All I'm doing to accomplish that task is turn my core, turn my hips, and not let the arm pass the body. So all I'm thinking about is turning down that way. We're going down this way, but I'm not letting the arm pass the body. So even from here, even if this is as far as you can get, I promise you, you can get some very nice, consistent golf shots from this position. So even without a club, right? Just test it. Just stand here And notice, are your arms hitting into you? As you're trying to take the club away, are your arms hitting into you, or are you clearing it out the way so they can swing a little bit freer? Because in essence, this is the only backswing you need. Now, stay tuned, because at the end of the main lesson, I'm going to show you a little tweak you can do to get a little bit more freedom and range on your backswing that doesn't restrict, that saves your body, and anyone can do it. It's so easy. It's going to annoy you, but it will really help. Now we are onto the meat of the lesson, that even if you have a very short backswing and you have limited ability to kind of get behind yourself, if you make that adjustment to make sure you're not crashing your arms into you and make a turn, you're in a good spot here. So let's assume you've accomplished that now, right? What do we do from here to be able to get decent power? Well, there's going to be a few tips that we're going to cover, but let's go through them one by one. Number one, this one is very easy. All you do is grip firm with the club, but just have the right pressure in the bottom 3 fingers and the top 3 fingers of the trail hand. So you've got a firm grip, but we're having suppleness in the wrist. Too many of us are just too tense, too tight, trying to force it through, trying to manipulate the club. Allow this to flow. Allow to feel the weight of the club. Allow gravity to help you. That natural sort of speed and flow. It's going to help you so much, I assure you. And it's dead simple. So just make sure that you have firm grip, but loose wrists, and allow the club to flow. Just remember that feeling. Number 2, this is a drill to make your movement even better from an exceptionally short swing. What we're going to focus on, and I've covered this in other sort of lessons, but what we're going to focus on is this movement here, okay? Because even from this type of level of golf swing, you know, barely a third quarter of the way back, if you can get a good strike off this golf ball, from here, it's showing you that you have the right sequence and the right movement. But I wager that too many of you are trying to work very hard from this position and flip the club up to try and get the speed and lift it up in the air. And it's great to be able to get the speed and the hands through that way. That's very easy. But if you're hanging back, trying to help it up, that's when you're going to get fat shots, and that's when you feel like you've got to heave the club through. We don't want any of that, because if we get ourselves into this short position here, okay, so we're in this nice short position just about here, what happens? Do you feel like you're kind of stuck? So your hands are about waist high. Do you feel like, get up out your chair? Do this with me. Actually get up, stand out your chair. And actually, let's do it without a club. So get up. Do you feel like from this position, so take your kind of third backswing to about waist high. What do you feel like you have to do to get back to that golf ball now? Do you feel like you have to scoop the hands? Do you feel like you're able to move the weight forward and then just allow everything to collect through? Or do you feel like you have to work just that bit too hard with the body to get a decent distance? Like if I was to say to you, here's $100 for every yard you get out of that shot. What's the intent? What's the feeling? Because if you're trying to force it too much, if you're not allowing your body to do its job and not rush it, you're going to lose, I guess, hundreds of dollars in that challenge. I want you to practice from this position here. So take your address, focus on making that turn without crossing backwards, crossing the arm across the chest. And from here, I want you to do some practice swings to a full, to a finish, but making sure that we're full with the legs and we're full with the pelvis and we're getting to this kind of halfway position, okay? So this is what it looks like. there. It's as simple as that. Very little movement, okay? But everything is sort of working together. We're accelerating to stick that nice sort of finish where the arms are straight here to be able to get that compression, but we're not stalling the body. Do not stall the body. Don't just do this. I want you to feel that as you're coming through, the club, the belly, the arms are kind of working together. This is a fantastic drill I want you to do. Stick the club just about your belt buckle, okay? So we're about waist high here. And we're going to make this swing half, basically as far as you can go without losing connection from there. And then what we're going to do is make that turn and straighten the arms here. But notice I'm not just using the upper body, I'm not just using the arms, and I'm not just using the legs. It's pressure down towards the left with intent, and then we collect through. This movement alone is going to give you the sensation that maybe you've never had before. But everything is working in unison, okay? And what we do, we take that, you rehearse that as much as you like, and then you do the same feeling with a club. So we just take it halfway back, and then I just try and get the same sensation all the way through. Now, full disclosure, I rushed from the top a little bit there, trying to get a few more yards, okay? So I'm going to rehearse again, club back, club through, but we're accelerating with intent to here and making sure that I stand up. So we take the club in the belly and we're making that rotation there, okay? We're making it there. So I want to take the same feeling with the loose wrists, with the backswing, where I'm not crossing over, okay? And I should be able to just develop the same feeling to get the nice kind of strike. And what that's going to do is give you the foundation just in that kind of area of how everything moves together. You do that coupled with the acceleration of the hands, but not stalling the body, allowing the hips to come through, you're going to be in an exceptionally good spot. We have that sensation, and then we bring it to here, not crossing over, everything working together. Pretty much just little chip shots that do the job, okay? And from there, we go on to the next part. Number 3 is about giving you a bit more power and oomph into the ball without having to force it. So we've got a tidier backswing, we've got a good move with everything going through with a nice loose feeling. Now we want a little bit more power, okay? So how do we take that power up and through? We don't try and force it to happen, we just do a tiny little sensation using the lower body to enable us to make a fuller, more powerful swing. This is about getting more power, yes? We, from a short backswing, can generate a little bit more speed. We've talked about the hands accelerating to this straight point. We've talked about everything working together in unison and having that hand path that you can rely on, okay? But we want a bit more zip. All I'm asking you to do is feel the left foot come off the ground a little bit on the backswing. Now I don't want you raising it a lot here because that's going to try and get you to make a big backswing that has to come down. Not necessarily a bad thing, but all we're doing from here is allowing this heel to come up. Doesn't have to come up much, but the idea is when we step down, we're doing a sort of step drill that's going to enable us to pull through. So that pulling through, if you see from this camera, is going to really just exactly that, pull the club through. So we're not hitting, we're just using momentum. So even from here, let's say I raise this foot all the way up, okay? All the way up from here, and I just plant it back down. just by that natural sequence, it's getting pulled through. And it's easy, all right? Don't try and overdo it. But the essence is to down and through and accelerate. So from very short swings, we can, even from here, okay, even from here, with that heel up, we can get plenty of consistent distance, and we can get more and more and more. Whatever you like to do, whatever you want to try and get out of the shot, you can do it. But here's where we're going to really get better at this. You're going to practice these moves with very, very short movements. What I mean is, I'll show you from here, we are only going to hit shots from this position. We can have a little pump this way, but from this position, we're planting the foot down and allowing everything to pull through that way. It's extraordinarily simple. So, the practice drill is here. I'm lifting the heel up for that pump, 1, 2, and we swing through, okay? That's what you're going to practice. That's the movement. So short, just from here, but then pull through. Feeling like the chest is finishing higher, to feel like the energy is going through that way. And then we get to a nice, hopefully, balanced poised finish where the ball's gone exactly where you want. So the final little tip to give you a bit more range of motion on your backswing is simply this. All we're going to do as your regular setup, because we want the hips to be able to turn even with a short backswing. We don't want it to just be upper body, because that causes us to kind of go this way a little bit. All we're going to do, I talk about this often because this is a thing that people just ignore, but we're going to turn the right foot out. And just by doing that, I'm allowing myself to turn a little bit easier. It's easier for me to go down and add that tilt. But even from a short backswing, I can have a little bit more range of motion, as if I was here, I'm suddenly more restricted, okay? But if I turn the foot out, it's much easier for me to get that range of motion. That's it. So piece those things together. So there you have it, my friends. Even if you've got a short backswing, use it wisely. Use it to your advantage, because it's going to give you the consistency, the strike, and the power, if you want to, with a lot more ease. All right? If you like that, let me know. If you didn't, let me know. And if you want to really take your game a little bit further, there's a free series below called the No Position series. And it's premium, but I'm giving it to you for free in an exclusive offer just for a very limited time. So if you do see this video, go and check it out, and you can see one of the premium programs that are normally reserved for our club members. But for you, my friends, it's available now. So click the link below, like and subscribe, and yeah, I will see you next time.